and one of the best special teams coordinators in the nation, the first special teams coordinator in Arkansas history, and the special teams unit's underperforming by a ton, so I'm going to give him a D-, and as a result, I think it breaks down this Razorback team to a B-. Overall, though, I think the reason I gave them this grade was because the offense played pretty well, given the situation, as they had a little bit of garbage time to score points. I'm going to tell the truth there. But I think defense played really, really bad, and I think that explains why A&M's offense is so good. I mean, Mond's played a tremendous game, and honestly, A&M is probably a college football playoff contender right now, and so is Georgia, the two teams that we've actually truthfully lost to. And even if you want to put Auburn in this conversation, Auburn is number 24 in the nation right now in the AP poll. So all three of our losses were to really good SEC schools, if you want to include Auburn in that conversation. I mean, we could sit here and debate on that forever, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's a L in a loss column, and that's why on the show I'll be referring to it as a loss, just because I think it makes more sense when you look at it from an outsider perspective. Now, I think Arkansas is better than Auburn, but I think at the end of the day it's a loss, and it's disappointing to say that, but I mean, I'm just going to tell it like it is. But just one quick little note, please stop overreacting if you're a Razorback fan. This team's going to be okay. Obviously, like I said, we've lost to good teams. A&M is a really good team. We weren't expected to win this game. We covered in this game. We're 5-0 against the spread. Just don't overreact to this game. We lost a guy like Catalan in the defense, and we struggled because of that. We were playing Kellen Mond, and we struggled because of that. It makes sense why there were some struggles, but offense played really good, so I wouldn't worry about anything on this team. And can we just please stop with Briles isn't going to work here at Arkansas, or Odom isn't the real deal, or Fountain needs to go, or even Frank slander for all this. I feel like all of this slander being tossed around like coaches and quarterbacks and everything, we're just so used to it because of the Morris area. There was so many issues with that Razorback fans were like, okay, we're playing bad, who do we blame now? So you go to Google, type in Arkansas coordinator, and then you'd find him and be like, yeah, let's get rid of this guy. And I feel like people need to stop doing that. Briles had a fantastic game against A&M. This is the best offense that we've seen all year. Why would we get rid of him? Odom has had really, really good games, and the one game that we don't first turnovers over a really good offense isn't going to mean anything. I mean, Odom is a really, really good coach, and he's going to continue showing that as the SEC season goes by. And Felipe Franks is a fantastic quarterback. I really like his decision to transfer. He's been playing really, really well. It's finally good to have some stabilization at quarterback. Now, I know his running is a little bit weird. He's got a couple things to work on, but we finally have a stable quarterback one, and I'm not worried about who's going to be playing a quarterback at all, which would be a totally different thing under the Chad Morris era. I think you got to give special teams a little bit of time and a camp to get everything in session. And I also think when Scott Fountain starts to get his guys out here to block for the kicking and punts and things like that, it's going to be a lot easier for the Razorbacks. But we go to play Tennessee at home. I'll preview that on Wednesday's episode. We're also doing a mid-season grades episode on Friday. I'm going to have a special guest on that episode, so stay tuned. Thinking about also getting an episode out about all of the other sports in the SEC, as volleyball's doing really good at 3-0, but I'll save all that talk for later. But yeah, that is all for Arkansas versus Texas A&M recap, reactions, overreaction, rants, grades, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for listening to today's episode. You can find all ways to listen and all social medias at allhogsports.com. And as always, woo pig!
That's all for today's episode of All Hogs Sports with Sam Stimpson. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode covering all Arkansas Razorback sports. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media too. on Twitter and Instagram at All Hogs Sports Pod. Like on Facebook at All Hogs Sports and Arkansas Razorbacks Podcast. And on YouTube at that same name. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Go Hogs!